Hi, I'm Elizabeth Escobedo, and I'm here to show you how to make a power breakfast. A power breakfast that is both easy to make, very versatile, healthy, and most important, you can carry it everywhere. Eat it room temperature, cold, hot, any way you like it. We're going to make a crustless quiche. Many of you are used to eating quiche with a crust, but we're gonna make a crustless quiche version today, and we're going to saute a little onion and garlic because I love that flavor. I happen to have some spinach in my refrigerator, which is why we're going to make a spinach quiche today. But you can really even just leave this part out. We're gonna add a little olive oil to this. You can even just add it, make your quiche with just eggs. You can use whatever leftovers you have in your refrigerator. When it's time for me to clean the fridge, it's time for me to make a quiche. So it's time to saute our onion and garlic together in a little bit of olive oil. And while that heats up, I'm going to show you what we're going to put in our quiche. We are going to add 4 eggs to our quiche. That's going to serve as the base for it. Lots of protein. I like to make this in the morning if my kids are having tests that day. I like to make it anytime I need to grab something. I have a big day ahead of me. Patients love to take this very easily to the hospital when they have appointments all day long and cannot necessarily stop for a meal. So we're going to add eggs here, and we're also going to add 2 egg whites. We're adding egg whites here to add some more protein without having to add too many yolks, because you want to limit the amount of yolks that you have per week. We're going to add some fresh spinach here. You can use frozen spinach. If you use frozen spinach, be sure to take all the excess water out. Now this looks like a lot, but it's going to become smaller once it gets in the pan. And I'm really not measuring. Basically, whatever I happen to have in the refrigerator from the night before is what's gonna go in my quiche. I'm known for not letting anybody throw anything away. If it's a tiny piece of chicken or 2 tablespoons of roasted red peppers, that's a perfect base for my next morning quiche. Oops, get in there. So while that kind of cooks down, we're going to add some more ingredients to our quiche. We're going to add some milk, skim milk, and we're going to add Greek yogurt. Now it is this one of the 2 secret ingredients in this quiche that is really going to make it delicious. It's going to make it very creamy without adding cream in your quiche. So we're going to mix that up and season it with a pinch of salt, a little pepper, freshly cracked, and we're going to add a little pinch of nutmeg, which is kind of an unusual ingredient to add to a savory dish, but it really draws out the flavors in quiche. I remember the first time I saw somebody add nutmeg to a savory dish, which was lasagna, I thought they were, crazy, but now I add nutmeg to quiche and other savory dishes, and it really makes the flavors pop. So we're gonna stir that up, nice and blended. And it looks like our spinach is just about ready. It has cooked down and it's ready to go in there. And you want it to cool down a little bit. You don't want to add something really, really hot to eggs because you don't want to cook your eggs. So we're just going to let it cool slightly. Right there. And as it cools, I'm going to add one more ingredient. I like to add a little bit of Parmesan to my quiche. You can just kind of eyeball it, maybe 1/4 cup or so, just to add just a little bit of nuttiness to your quiche, a little more flavor. And remember, you can also refrigerate quiche, and you can leave it in there for a few days, and you can just grab it from the refrigerator and head off to the hospital, and that'll really get you through the day. It's all day long, all day strong we're trying to go for. And here is the slightly cooled quiche ingredient, which is our star for today, is our spinach. It goes in there. You can use squash. You can use any vegetable that you have. Zucchini. I love zucchini. It's also very good. And there it goes. It is in there. We're going to mix that up. And now what we're going to use is we're going to use one of my favorite pans. This is just a standard muffin pan, but it's in the shape of a square. And I just think it's kind of fun. Everybody kind of likes to, if you can make healthy food more interesting, everybody is game for it. So now what we're going to do is you just use like a 1/4 cup measure or a measuring spoon and just fill it up kind of 3/4 of the way. It is gonna puff a little bit, so you wanna leave a little space. Just like that. There's your cheese, your spinach, all of your protein that's gonna get you through that day. And it's gonna go right in there, and we're going to bake it in the oven till it's puffed. Right in there. Another favorite version, I love to make blue cheese and walnuts. You can add nuts to this. I don't know if there's anything you really can't add. I even have a friend who adds fruit to it, which I haven't tried, but I'm sure it's delicious. So into the oven. And we're gonna bake it for about 15-20 minutes till it's nice and puffed and golden brown, slightly golden. It's been about 15 or 20 minutes and I can smell our quiche. It's been baking at 375 degrees. And it's only been baking for about 15 or 20 minutes because it's in a smaller pan, equivalent to a standard muffin tin pan. And so if it was in a larger pan, you would want to bake it a little bit longer, sometimes up to 30 to 40 minutes, depending on the size of your pan. You want it nice and creamy. You don't want to overbake it, so watch your oven toward the last 5-10 minutes of baking. You don't want it to be rubbery. Now we'll let it cool slightly. We'll take it out and ready to pack it up to go on your day with you for all day long, all day strong.